In a world where talents bloom and dreams take flight, BlindSmart invites you to step into the spotlight. Are you a visionary entrepreneur or a talent so rare? Join us in the Blind Brilliance Showcase if you dare. Every Wednesday, let your brilliance ignite. Show the world your gifts, your sheer delight. The stage is set. The moment is now. We stand beside you. We'll show you how. How can you partake? You may inquire. It's simple and true. No need to tire. Record your talents, your dreams, your creation. Music, food, art, or innovation. Share your video. Let your voice resound. Let BlindSmart spread it all around. A tapestry of talent, woven so bright, illuminate the world with your radiant light. Need assistance or questions in mind? On WhatsApp, your answers you'll find. Dial +260 7729 4737. On Facebook, you'll find insight. Go ahead and follow BlindSmart. Still looking for a convenient way? Be sure to send us an email. services@visioninward.com is your go-to place. Without a doubt, we're here for you, guiding your journey, helping dreams come true. Inclusivity, support, our values stand. With BlindSmart, you hold the world in your hand. A community that cheers, celebrates your grace. Together we'll soar in this wondrous place. Join us today, let your spirit take part, for within you resides a magnificent heart. Why wait? Play your part. Your journey begins, let your story start. With BlindSmart, you're never far apart.
This is indeed a special episode. From a great supporter to finally us meeting, I am joined by Lefenze Sofela, who is really a source of encouragement to me continuing with this podcast. Hi, Lefenze.
Hi, Trevor.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How do you do?
I am so happy that we finally met.
Likewise.
Yes, I've been seeing you on Facebook sharing my stuff, and it has been so wonderful of you to have been doing that.
Oh, well honored.
Yes. So, with her today, we are introducing an interesting series on this podcast. And the series is Ask a Blind Person. So she's going to ask me some questions and I'll be answering those questions. But before that, I must mention that you also can send in your questions, and in the upcoming episodes, especially those that will be featuring the Ask a Blind Person series, we will then ask your questions here. And I would like for her to introduce herself before she starts hammering me with questions. So, yeah, tell us who you are. And
Who I am?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, listeners. I am Lefenze, as already mentioned. I'm Lefenze Sofela. I'm an engineering technician by studies. For my profession, I'm a mentor. I do mentorship for young girls and girls for Girls Botswana. Leadership mentorship. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Oh.
So I just want to ask you one question.
Okay.
What makes you have an interest in the BlindSmart blog as well as the podcast? So why do you always share the content? Let's start from there.
Do I always share the content? Okay, that's the easiest thing to do. So. Okay. Why do I always share the content?
Yeah.
I think the content itself it's inspiring.
Wow.
Yeah, taking from your perspective, what you do itself is inspiring, not just to the blind community, even myself. So I always share things that I see they have value, and I think also it raises awareness. And maybe if I could contribute, which by sharing, which is the easiest thing, to raise awareness and I just believe in inclusivity. Yeah,
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's nice. And why do you think people should embrace inclusion? Like you say, believing in inclusion and stuff. Why is it important for someone who is not blind to take personal interest in this kind of program?
I would say it is very important. First thing, communication. I believe in communication. As long as we are one, we are in the same world, we are one community. We must have that platform that is communication. Or what?
Yeah,
Should I share story? I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't prepared for this, so I just remembered something. Okay, that was the time I went to Joburg.
Okay, Blind Smarters, here I have muted the original audio of the podcast because when she started telling her story, she switched from English to Setswana, which is our local language here. So I've muted the audio to sort of like translate to English what she was saying. So she was on a journey to Johannesburg. She went for a vacation, and while there, she went into a shop, and on coming back, she realized that the bus that she was supposed to take had left already. So what happened? She bought a train, and on the other side, where she dropped off, she was assisted by someone who is deaf. And she explains that she has always had an interest in learning sign language. So with that, she knew the basics, such as greeting someone and even saying thank you. So the person who was assisting her could tell that she is lost, she doesn't know what to do, and he communicated with her, explaining to her that she needed to register and she would have a seat reserved for her, of which, after doing so, she successfully got into the bus. And she says she was happy that she could use what she learned in sign language to communicate to the person and was able to get assistance. Back to the episode.
Yeah, that moment was a wow moment for me, and I thanked God that I missed the bus, just to experience that moment. Like, okay, I was able to communicate, and he was able to communicate back. Okay, that's the part of communication. That's my story.
And in a different country.
Yes, and in a different country. And thank God, like, thank you. I guess there is Botswana sign language.
Yep.
There are different American names.
Yes.
I guess South Africa, they have that is different. But things like greetings and thank yous are the same.
Oh, it's kind of universal.
Yes, it's kind of universal. So, I don't like it. This guy had to help me and just had to do simple thing. Thank you.
You know, acts of kindness can go a long way.
Yeah, and most importantly, communication, you know.
Oh, yeah, so that is why people should embrace inclusion.
Yes. Yeah, especially us who are differently abled. I think, we just have to be knowing how. And, communication.
All right, one last question.
Oh my God, I've seen a lot already.
Okay, what was I going to ask?
I don't know.
Okay, I remembered it. One last question.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel, or what came into your mind when I reached out and asked if we could, record this episode together?
Awesome Explorer. I just wow. And it was late night.
Yeah, it was, I remember.
Yeah, it was late night. I didn't know how it would turn out or anything, but it just sounded interesting. It's like, okay, I'm in.
And what I'm appreciative of is, one, it was late night. Two, it was short notice. We had to do it within less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
My bad, I had to put you under that much pressure, but
that's fine.
Okay, so I've been asking you questions, trying to escape the reality of you having to ask me, but I've run out of questions. I don't have any way to go, so
yeah.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Let's hear what you have for me.
For you. So it's my turn now.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. First question. I believe each and everyone, they're curious about it. How does it feel to be blind?
How it feels. I would say, I would say it differs from a person to a person.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking. Because for me, I was born that way, so it's been part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because of that, it is not really something to cry about. Of course, at times I have, maybe for instance, I want to do something that needs, a sighted person.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I want to go to the shops, I'm not familiar with the place, or maybe I've dropped a coin, or maybe something, that requires a sighted person. For instance, last month, by the way, I broke my computer screen, but anyway.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, so last month,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to use WhatsApp on the computer. So it was unfortunate that when I opened up WhatsApp on the PC, it wanted me to scan from the phone. So that means I need someone who can see to locate where the QR code is on the screen and point the phone's camera to that. And I couldn't do that with the screen reader, technology is limited. So it was frustrating to do that on my own. I had to find another person, which never worked out anyway, because by the time I found the person, I had already broken the screen. So we couldn't achieve that, because now that person can see what is on the screen. So we are more or less the same when it comes to the computer. So yeah, I would say it differs from person to person. For someone who lost sight recently, it might be difficult for them. But also for someone who was born with it might be difficult as well for them, depending on their environment they are living in. So yeah, it differs from person to person.
Okay, so you mentioned the environment. You mentioned that it's frustrating, especially when you are supposed to ask help. How does it feel like having to ask help?
Asking help.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Because sometimes you can feel like you are being burdensome to people. Just to ask someone, can you please come help me look for that coin that has fallen? Or maybe can we go to this or that place together? It feels like, at times it feels like you are being too much on that person. But I've seen people that are genuinely interested in helping. It's only that it is how you'll be feeling inside. Like for me, I always feel like maybe I'm asking too much. So sometimes the danger of it is I can really need that help, and then I hold back. Then it doesn't end well. I end up losing on maybe opportunities or things like that because I held back from asking for help. Yes.
Interesting. What did I want to say? Okay, there are times, even for me, right? Like, especially for independent people, independent in a way. Like there are some people who don't want to ask help naturally. Like they're so independent, they're used to helping themselves.
That's true, yes.
Yeah. Are there any times like you feel like, okay, maybe I'm trying to offer you help and you feel like offended or too much? Because sometimes some help can be offending, right?
I know.
Yes. Like you feel like, yeah, those people think I'm limited in a way.
True.
Yeah.
It depends. So in your question, there are two aspects. Are there times that I feel offended, or maybe, and then are there other times that I feel it is too much, like the help? So let's start with the offense part. Yes, there are those times, especially if a person, tries to get in my way, like making decisions for me. Because there are people who can, they'll think that, oh, okay, no, he's blind, he can't reason enough. Let me decide on his behalf. No, that is not help. Ask for my opinion and act according to that, or advice. Like, okay, no, I think it's better this way. That way,
just ask for opinion what you're thinking, because you have brains, right?
Exactly.
I understand.
The too much part of it, it can happen if, I know that I can always count on you. Then sometimes you might say to me, do you need help? And I'm like, no, because I feel like I'm already getting too much from you. While I really need help.
When you really need help.
Yeah, so, that's what goes into asking for help and some of the drawbacks of being blind.
Okay, we're talking about sign languages and other people who are differently able, right? Yeah, like the deaf, they have a sign language. Do you have a language? Or I know you understand you use Braille. Is Braille a language?
That's a good question. Braille is not a language. It's just a writing style. Just as you would write in print, Braille is also another form of writing. So I would say it's a tactile writing system because you touch it with your hands. You use your hands to read what is on the Braille paper or the Braille machine. So it's not a language, unlike sign language.
I can use it also.
You can. So actually, I would want to think, but I stand to be corrected by the community and everyone. But I would want to think that you can produce any language in Braille. That you can write Setswana in Braille. You can write English. I've seen I once had a book in Spanish brain, if I should put it that way. It had come to me by mistake. So, but I was told that it's Spanish because I couldn't understand it. Yeah.
So how does it work?
So I think every language has characters. Like you have the English characters in Braille. You know that, okay, if I see these dots, they represent B. Or if I see these dots. So I think that's the case with every language. Yes.
Okay. Doesn't it take time?
It doesn't.
Oh, maybe when you're just used to it.
Yeah, I think because for me, if you give me a Braille paper right now, as long as if it's in English or Setswana, then I can simply read.
I remember there was this book I read for primary, I think, Heidi. And she was a blind girl and a princess or what. There's using Braille or something. I don't really remember the story, but I just remember the book I Heidi.
So you are from family tradition,
yeah, maybe I'm realizing.
Yeah, but
Do you think it should be introduced in schools?
I think so. It would be nice, at least the basics.
Yeah.
Maybe the alphabet and the numbers.
Yeah, because recently the government was trying to introduce this vernacular languages in schools.
Yeah, I heard that. And it's a good initiative. So I feel they should introduce Braille as well as sign language, at least for the basics. So if it happens just as it did in your situation, then someone can communicate with that person. It will be so interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This is interesting. Introduced in schools. I think also we need advocacy, because things to be done here, people really need to advocate for them.
And this is why BlindSmart exists. Like you mentioned earlier on, raise awareness to advocate.
To be able.
Yes. And hopefully someday, that is my greatest wish, that I'm able to turn it into somewhat an organization, a civil society, because then it will have a strong voice.
Yeah.
Yes, that's something I'm looking to do.
Interesting. Have you thought of advocating, raising voice about that?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, not yet.
You're actually giving me an idea. So
okay.
The importance of collaboration.
Okay. Okay, when we came here, you're working by yourself, and we just tried to figure out where to sit, and you're talking about the lights and all that. So, do you sense light and colors? How do you work about that? I'm interested in the environment.
I don't know. I tend to care much about interesting things that I don't even see. Like you talk of colors. I don't know how a color looks like. You talk of light. Unfortunately, I can't sense it, but I know that some people who can. But I think what is interesting with me is I can form mental images. I can just think of, maybe I would say, okay, maybe this is how red looks, maybe this is how brown looks. But obviously I know for sure my imaginations might be wrong. I think I might be thinking of something that's completely different. And what always impresses me, of which I don't know how the mind works, is when I'm dreaming, I always have sight. I can see the people around me, the objects. So in my dreams,
images.
Yeah, and they are colorful. So I don't know. I really don't know how it works, but that's how.
And you'll be knowing, in the dream, who this is, and
yes,
would it be people like that you live with?
Exactly.
Oh,
so yeah, that's how it gets.
So do you have any image of how you look? It's a crazy one.
I think I do, but I also think it's completely wrong. Because of course it's influenced by what people have told me and how what's the word? No, English is going. And how I feel when I touch maybe my face or my hands or whatever. Because that's when all those things, they come into play and shape my vision. So, for instance, people have told me that I'm dark in complexion. And of course I have that imagination in me. But yeah, but this is the thing. I can't prove it. I wish there was a way of communicating how I see dark. Because people will say, no, because you have your eyes closed, that's darkness. No. To me, that is not. I mean, okay, do I have them open? Do I have them closed? There's really no difference. So
yeah.
So someone once said to me, okay, whatever you are seeing when your eyes are open or closed, that's darkness. But no. I mean, it's different from the way I imagine myself.
How you know?
How I know. Yes.
But okay, I know like the environment can frame. Let's say when I grow up, maybe like, oh, you have big ears, and like those comments, have they like shaped?
Yes,
How
they do. They really contribute a lot to the vision, to how I envision myself.
So when you touch yourself, do you feel like I have a sharp nose, a big nose, or?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I have this big nose. I have one eye of mine is big, the other is small. Things like that. Then I'll be like, then I use that to form who I am or how I look.
Okay. But I know you can identify voices, right?
Yes.
Like your family members, this is who because by voices.
Yes.
By their voices.
By their voice, and more to that, I know someone was shocked. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? So this person was shocked because I could know them by just how they breathe. So, yeah, because I had studied how the person is breathing. And then I can also know someone's scent. I can know someone's footsteps. I can know someone's way of shaking my hand. So it,
you pay attention to this.
To details.
Those details.
Yeah, so everyone is how I identify them.
Like we're meeting for the first time. I know we have talked a lot on social media, but now we're meeting for the first time. Do you think like the next time we meet, we would know like the differences in the
Possibly. I think I would.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I would. And for you, I think I would know with your voice, at least for now. Because the voice, that's the first thing that stands out.
Yeah.
And as you spend more time with the person, then you pick those other characters, like how they are breathing, their footsteps, all those things. Yeah.
Okay. Like for now, do you have like an image or like have you envisioned how I might be looking?
That's a difficult one.
Okay. Should I give it loose?
No, okay. I want to do some guesswork first. But it's a difficult one because
you just envisioning like
okay, yeah, anyways. One thing I would want to think that you keep a short hair.
Okay.
So I think maybe just I think you keep a short hair. I think you are some kind of a slender.
Right. Okay.
Then I think you have a bit of height, maybe. Yeah, of course, not taller than yourself. But I was going to say, but around my height, maybe.
Oh, interesting. Height. I didn't think about that.
Then I'm thinking, there's a conflict whether you put on earrings or not, but I think you have your ears pierced.
No,
you don't. Oh, is it?
I'm naturally natural.
You are so natural.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I don't have any reasons.
Alright, that's interesting. At least I'm wrong there. Okay.
Yeah, at least you're. So I think you have those extra senses, should I say?
Yeah, it's more like what the other person was asked me. If it's true that, when you are blind or when you are deaf, your other senses compensate for that. I think they do.
I think, like, from the conversation, because, I don't know, you just having to be pay more attention to details than I would.
Yeah, it's like, I love referencing. The other person once said to me that, because, he had hurt himself. So I'm like, how do you hurt yourself? And then he's like, no, because you can't see the environment, you are careful than myself. And I believed him.
Yeah.
Because, you don't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
He was telling me that he will just handle that knife anyhow. But for me, I would really want to make sure where's the sharp point.
Yeah.
Where's the handle, things like that. So, yeah.
Okay, now you're talking about you cook.
I do.
Okay, let me ask you, how do you do it?
No, but, I mean, that's the whole point for Ask a blind person.
Okay, so you do you have to like you measure what do you do? You measure the steps from the stove where you put your food and everything.
Now
you
this
move
is
around.
the thing with me.
Mhm.
I've never loved mathematics.
Okay.
I've never loved numbers.
Okay.
So I never measure anything.
Mhm.
And I have this other device that I usually use, like it's a voice assistant kind of.
Mm.
So I would, ask it maybe for instructions to cook. So I just don't want to call it by name because maybe someone who is listening or watching has that device, so it might trigger it. So
Okay.
I'll say to it,
Okay, when you mention the name, it activates.
it activates because it
Okay.
will think that you need some help.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'll then say maybe what's for dinner or what can I eat or give me a recipe for maybe eggs, just something. So it always says to me, use 2 teaspoons and use 3 milliliters of whatsoever. And I'm like, no, I won't use measurements, but I think maybe the reason why it does it that way, I guess there are people who rely on measurements, on units, but I'm just different in my own way. So I don't know how it happens, but I never measure anything. It just happens. Let me see.
Okay, now I'm thinking of something interesting from your point of view, right?
Yes.
Talking to a construction professional, should I say, or someone in the built environment. I know,
That's
like,
nice.
okay, like how the doors are made. They are made. Let's say this lock, right?
Yes.
Where the measurement, let's say from the floor, is according to. They just did the like an average person's measurement.
Mhm.
Do you think like the built environment should structure the buildings? Like, do you ever think of any way that will be more easier, or do you feel like this building is inclusive too?
Yeah.
I don't know if you get the question.
I get the question, and I think there are 2 ways of answering that question.
Mhm.
First, is there a way they should build construction? I think yes. I think always when there is a construction going on, they should always think of inclusion.
Mhm.
For instance, when they build, maybe it's an upper floor or something like that. Is there a way of someone who is using a wheelchair to navigate that? Okay, then how we are building and how things will be put inside. Will a blind person be able to navigate with his cane, or as others say, walking stick? Will he be able to use his service dog or his guide dog? Will there be sufficient space for that?
Yeah.
Then is the lighting enough, for someone who is specially sighted? Is it audible enough for someone who is using maybe hearing aids and things like that? Then door labels, are they visible enough for someone to see from a distance? And then the other thing, are they
Maybe writing braille.
yes? Is there a braille writing
Yeah.
for someone to read, or is there a voice whereby when you pass by that door, maybe there is a device that senses and then it says room 52 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
When it feels that a person is passing by, even though that person has sight, but that device is programmed to announce that, so that a person who is blind, maybe they are going to office number 100, then if they pass and they hear that, it tells them that, okay, maybe you are still in front of office 99, you need to go forward, things like that. So those are things that I feel should be incorporated. And then you asked about, do I feel is the environment inclusive? So I don't know whether you're asking about this environment, or if I get into a building, we are always considered.
Maybe it's the schools, right? How was the school experience? Oh, you went to a different school?
No,
Special.
I went to just the mainstream school. I went to school with any other kid. There's so much to do. Like seriously, I won't.
I hope the educators are listening.
Yeah, there's so much to do. For instance, in my high school, there were a lot of drainage systems. Yeah, I understand they wanted to maybe capture the water and stuff, but I feel there was a way they should have done that. Maybe they should have covered them with maybe a sieve, because water can still pass through a sieve. So you can imagine someone who doesn't have a walking stick. They might fall in there, or maybe sometimes you are carried away in thoughts or something, you don't even recognize that your cane has warned you of that drain. And then you go in there. So, and then, of course they did try a lot of corridors, which makes the experience better. But there's so much to do. And there's really much to do. From all the schools that I've been, but I would say at least the 50% chances that a blind person would make it through, because it's somewhat accessible in it. Yes.
So the government has an assignment.
Yeah, she does. I remember it's a she, so.
She has a big assignment. Okay, this has been an interesting conversation. I don't have any more questions for now. But I would say if there is anything you want to say that I might not have highlighted that you think that should be mentioned.
No,
but for me now I don't have.
Well, I think I'm okay. I think you've asked me some really important questions, and especially that you asked about the building, right, with your project, with your profession. It's interesting because I read an article last year, and it was so interesting to me that Apple has made it into their iPhones that a blind person can just point at a door, and then it will announce what's on the door, like the label, and then it will announce whether the lock is a knob or is a handle, and then it will tell you whether it is on your left hand or on your right hand. Then it will say, I don't know whether it's measurements or what, but it will tell you whether it's on the top or bottom or something like that. So I don't know, I feel like it's a call to action for especially people in your profession.
Okay.
Because one thing I'm wondering, what qualifies a building for Apple to be able to detect that? Like, are there any standards? So I feel like you in the profession of construction, you need to find out that, and if there are standards that it has set, then maybe in future buildings or when you renovate, then you can incorporate those standards. Then, of course, if anybody who is blind is using an iPhone, then they can easily point at the door, and the experience is wonderful. So
that's an interesting assignment. At least from now here, I have something to work on.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I can't wait to experience that.
Yeah. Even the thought of it is just exciting.
It really is exciting.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you one question before you leave.
Okay.
I just want to see your reaction. What would you do if you wake up and then you realize that you don't have sight for like a minute?
A minute.
What would be your reaction in that 1 minute?
For that 1 minute,
Yes.
I think I'll close my eyes again. For like 20 minutes. No, I don't know. Maybe I'll close my eyes, then I open them again. Then I realize, okay, I really can't see. I naturally, I would say I'm slow to act.
Oh, okay.
Yes, if I was someone, I would scream. Even like during, like I can see an accident and I'll calmly tell you like, we are really approaching a car. We are having, instead of, oh my God, Jesus, you're hitting a car. So maybe I mentioned that works best for me. I remember there was a time I woke up and I had this painful cramp.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't stretch my leg. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. Like it was really painful. And I just swallowed it there and I was just staying in my blankets and there were people around me. I felt like screaming like, come and help. I put chalk, but I didn't do that. So I think I just opened my eyes and closed and then go back to sleep with the hope that, yeah.
It just
I've never been, like since I knew myself, I could see everything. So this will be a whole new experience for me.
Well, it's an interesting question because someone asked me that question. And he's like, okay, he was driving me, and then he's like, what would you do if you have just 1 minute of seeing your surroundings? I would freeze. Because it would be a whole new experience, like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it has been interesting. I'm finally happy to have met you.
Yeah,
I
same
know
here,
who really
finally.
supports me,
Same here, finally met.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you for the invite.
And thanks for accepting it. I hope we'll get you to this Ask a Blind Person. yeah, I hope we'll be able to do them more and more, because I think it's more engaging than discussing a certain subject.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I can appreciate like how you see things and how you vision things. So
And I'm happy you've been using such words as see, look, because for people, I don't know about other Black people, but for me, I don't have problems with that, because I feel like I'm living with certain people in this world. And I mean, you guys are used to seeing, are used to looking, are used to watching. So I use those words as well to be saying, no, I've watched this movie. I know it always takes people by shock, but yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so we're done.
We're done, and thanks everyone for tuning in for this episode. It's been, like I mentioned, a special episode for me. Having to meet the friends has been one of the great things that BlindSmart has offered me this year. So, if you have a podcast, if you have anything, do reach out to that person who really contributes a lot behind the scenes, because they make you go forward. Appreciate them. Let them know that they mean the most to you.
Turbo Beats, the ultimate music maker for you. Whether you want to rock the party with a dance track or touch the hearts with an R&B song. Whether you want to spice things up with a Latin sound or soothe the soul with a piano piece. We can turn your dream song into a reality. Just visit www.visioninword.com and tell us what you need by filling out a simple form on the contact page. Or just hit us up at services@visioninword.com or on WhatsApp at +2 677 294 4737. Let your music speak louder than words. Turbo Beats.